What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Film Family. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about Men in Black. I was about to call it the third one. I think it's Men in Black International. Yeah. So, initial thoughts on the film. What did you think before going into the movie?
First off, I should say that I don't have a stake in the franchise. I'm not like Prince loves the Men in Black movies. He grew up on them and he's a big fan. I'm not like...
One and two only. Three.
Oh, you weren't a fan? Yeah,
I don't even remember three.
I've only seen, I think, the first and second one. But, I thought they were pretty fun, pretty serviceable movies. And going into this, I had kind of low expectations. And, this movie wasn't for me overtly, like, awful or anything. It just didn't do much for me to excite me. I think F. Gary Gray is a very good director. And, I think, I don't know if this is the right movie for him. It feels like an odd choice for him to direct. But, I don't think this movie's bad or anything. I just thought for me it was a little dull. I think Chris Hemsworth was funny in it. I thought Tess Thompson did like a fine job. And besides that, there's not really for me much to say about this movie.
Taj?
I don't want to say I was disappointed because I really wasn't disappointed. I wasn't expecting anything from this movie. Mm-hmm. The movie had everything that I wanted in it in terms of like F. Gary Gray, Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson. Like on paper, it looked like it could be a great movie. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I mean in terms of the cast and the crew and all that stuff. But I think. What?
I was going to say, a lot of people were like, obviously, Chris Hemsworth and Tess Thompson were in Thor together.
Yeah, they have.
A lot of people said they have good chemistry.
Yeah,
so
great chemistry.
People expected this, to kind of have that same energy and vibe to it.
But there's something called a script, and I think that was the problem with this in terms of the script for me. It was just, it felt paint by numbers kind of thing. It wasn't anything special. And
I don't think the movie was creative enough. Too.
No, I agree with what he says though, and what you were saying is, I actually was surprised. I thought the movie was going to be horrible.
So all my people had a low.
I think the Metascore was like a 3. Like it is really low, and I think the users gave it a 50%, something like this. Everybody's saying it's going to be bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I agree with when you were talking about how it's a paint by numbers, because I saw that Tess Thompson, she was going to find that blue animal again. Mm-hmm. As soon as it I was like, and every blue person, I was like, is it this person? No, it's going to be this person. Yeah. It's happening.
I mean, I thought, I just didn't think this movie was creative enough in its presentation and its execution of the plot. I think the Men in Black movies, even though they're also kind of by the numbers blockbusters, I think they're pretty creative. And I think they're very fun movies. And I think Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones had pretty good chemistry. Mm-hmm. I do think Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson's chemistry wasn't as good, but I didn't think it was like non-existent. I thought they had some pretty good chemistry. For me, Chris Hemsworth, the more and more I see him, the more I notice just how good he is at comedic acting. I think that's his best skill. And unfortunately, even though he does have, his fair share of funny lines and parts in this movie, I don't think, like Tosh said, it was a very well-written script in terms of comedy. I think in terms of plot and characters, it's a pretty generic script, but I thought that the movie could have been a little funnier, and that was something I actually liked about the old Men in Black movies. It was not their action or anything, but it was the comedy and kind of the exploration of the world, and I think this movie was missing some of that.
And I felt like their comedy was almost Disney, kind of. It was... It wasn't really Men in Black. It felt
it was
more
a little
like
cartoonish.
Exactly.
I mean, they got the thing in the desert.
I really felt like the little alien, the Pawnee. I felt like he was very similar to the Madagascar King Julian. Julian. I felt like it had very put off that kind of vibe.
That is a good comparison.
Yeah,
I love King Julian.
So do I.
Yeah, but King Julian, was in an animated movie, and he's supposed to be like that Pawnee. I didn't think he was bad or anything, but I just wasn't really entertained by his presence.
Do you think that they were making a little Thor homage when he grabbed that hammer?
100%.
Yeah. Definitely, right?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just was making sure that I wasn't tripping.
I think,
I was like, okay.
Marvel's a big enough Hollywood entity that people know that if there's an actor from Marvel, they're probably known by that role more than anything else, so they'll do an homage to that. And I do think, that was a pretty funny homage.
It was funny.
But, I don't know, I wish this movie had a little more creativity. That was something.
I think it was actually very creative. If you want to talk about world building, like when we were talking about in John Wick, I really like how they took it to an international stance, and it's not just like the Men in Black in the United States.
Yeah, okay.
And it wasn't just focused on our government, but it is a secret society, very similar to the whole whatever was going on in Godzilla, that whole secret society. But this is for aliens.
This time it was not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was
definitely better
fun.
than Godzilla.
Yeah.
Let me give you a quick PSA to anybody watching. If you say Godzilla's better than this movie, that's completely okay. But I've been seeing some things online that people are saying Godzilla and Dark Phoenix are better than the good movies this year, like Us and Avengers. It hurts my feelings, guys. It really does. Opinions are opinions, but I don't know if I can allow that one.
I would say if you're a Men in Black fan, you probably would enjoy this. If you've watched every other one, you probably would want to see it just to see, the Men in Black International. But if this is your first foray into Men in Black, I would probably watch the original.
Well, don't you guys think it would have been cool too if they had kind of like when a franchise brings an old star, if they brought in Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones?
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
But
I thought that was a really big
I
missed
wasn't
opportunity.
expecting Liam Neeson to be in the movie. I had no idea
really?
he
Did you
was
see
in
the
there.
trailers?
No,
Oh,
I did
okay,
not.
okay.
And I did not know he was going to be in
Okay. And I think that's another thing. I think this trailers, for me, spoiled a lot of the
Yeah, they
comedy.
gave a lot of the jokes.
So that might be why you liked it a little more because all the jokes and like I almost felt like by watching the trailer I probably watched the movie. That's why there's no
I think
surprises.
that's what trailers
A lot of
probably
movies
have
nowadays.
nowadays.
Yeah.
They kind of ruin their biggest surprise because they know that people are less like they're more reluctant to get in theaters and see movies, and so I think for them they really have to show you like everything. And unless you have a good brand around you, you're not going to get people to go see movies. So that's kind of unfortunate that they spoiled a lot of their big moments. That's why I don't watch trailers.
Now let me ask you something because we have a lot of international people that come to our channel. Do you think they would enjoy it? Like, do you think that it plays internationally?
I don't think
I
it's
mean,
like
it's called Men in Black
a
International.
super big.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like one of those things that they were like focusing too much on the international and political or like global aspects of it. But I think they focused on it enough for people to enjoy it. Because I know that if you have an American movie, it has some, either whether it be a location or a person or something from a foreign country that a lot of times the audiences will enjoy that because they feel more represented, which is always cool. And in cinema when people can see their own culture represented in other culture. But I do think this movie doesn't have like so much that you're gonna see it and be like, oh, I love this movie because it represents my culture. Like it
And
doesn't.
I think they're
well.
also too. I mean, London is. I'm not going to say it's a random country. A lot of people talk about London, but
You just said London's a country.
or I'm sorry, England, but London,
agree
the
with
city, but Marrakesh.
Yeah.
I don't know how that really fit in, and I really wish they explained. I get that it gives it a more global and broad appeal, but they didn't really explain the importance of the Marrakesh operations versus the London operations and how they interacted with each other. But I want to say that I really like the CGI in this.
Yeah.
I thought the visual effects were pretty amazing.
They usually
were
are
very
the
amazing.
Men in Black ones. They usually are. They
The
did
gadgets, the
Anyone know the
cars.
budget for this?
No, I'd estimate around like 75 to 100 million. But yeah, the movie's it's not doing very well right now.
No,
it's
it's
not doing
not,
like
unfortunately.
awfully, but
There's like
you know.
4 people in my theater, and I just saw it today.
yeah, there was not a lot of people in our
Here-
theater.
And then we'll wrap this up. But they said something about because I've been watching these reviews and they're talking about franchise fatigue. Do you think that's an excuse?
No, I mean, I don't
'Cause
think that's
I-
fair for a movie
yeah.
that hasn't released something since like 2011.
Yeah, but it also might not be because aliens aren't necessarily in the forefront. When Men in Black came out, it was probably because at that time people were very interested in aliens. We're seeing almost less and less zombie movies too because even that was played out. So it might just be the topic.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because the trailer didn't look that good for the movie.
Yeah,
for me,
I mean, I wasn't excited.
it
to
was
see
just
in
a
the
little
beginning.
annoying in this movie to watch, talented actors work with a not bad but a lackluster script and kind of just lackluster creativity. I don't think this is really a movie that has any of its components, really bad. But I just think they're all kind of a little average. So for me, I give this movie probably like a 5.5 to a 6 out of 10.
I agree with that number. I just want to say, spoiler alert, I saw Liam Neeson being the bad guy as soon as they were like, we have a mole in the operation. That was
I
clear cut, cookie cutter template right there.
See, that's what the problem was. There's no surprises, no twists in that
Yeah,
way.
there's really never that moment that just like shocked you. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
I would, I'm leaning between 5 and 6 too, so I'll go 5.5 just because it's kind of, at the end of the day, I'm not going to remember this movie. I hate to say it like that. I want to, but in a year from now, I'm not going to. This is not even going to come in my conscience.
Yeah, it's like we remember Justice League because it was bad.
Yeah, it's not that overtly bad.
It's not bad and it's not good.
because the acting of this
straight
movie,
down the middle.
Yeah, the acting of this movie is never like overtly bad for me or anything. The script has a couple bad lines, but it's never like, oh, what a horrible script. It's just kind of like a movie you watch, you're like, eh.
Do you guys know if the Hive people or the Dodarians, whatever, the guys that were dancing in the club? I feel like they were dancers. I don't know anything.
They were dancers.
They were dancers that they just hired for this.
Yeah,
job.
There were some good dancers.
They were good dancers, but that threw me off
Did they
because
remind you-
I know dancers and stuff. That looked awkward. To
Did
me.
they
Like,
remind you of the two people from the second Matrix movie?
Someone said that, yeah, to me.
Motorcycle.
You talking about the two white guys?
Yes.
Like the albinos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Where they just kind of came in. They don't have
Yeah.
dialogue. They're just physically, kind of villains.
But they look like dancers to me. I just wanted to know if you guys.
Yeah,
knew,
they were
but,
dancers.
yeah.
They were dancers.
I did not know that.
But I really
Good
like
dancers.
them, and I also like the hive at the end when Liam Neeson turned into that monster. I really like the show of that.
Anyone, Pawnee? What was your thoughts?
I didn't think he was bad. I just thought he was
He
kind
had
of
some
like
great lines, but
He did, but I think again it was in the
it was trying
Disney
to
kind of.
That's the
fashion.
problem.
it was a little
It-
cartoonish for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's the one thing? It's not just this movie. It's a thing I have with a lot of movies. Even movies I like do this. In the score of the movie, when a character does something that's like kind of funny, they play this little whimsical noise, and it sounds like a kid's movie, and it does not work in live
that's-
action movies.
yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Are we just noticing that though, or is it something?
No,
that's
I've known that my whole life, but that's
no, but I
just
meant
my
like 'cause
first
I'm
opportunity.
feeling like I don't want to say movies are getting dumbed down, but they're playing for lower and
I
younger and
agree with
younger,
that.
and
I
it's
think
like,
they care
but
less
I don't
about
know
the
if that's
art
me.
of it. I think they care more about the consumerism of it and the
Okay.
fact that people are going to watch a movie that's
See,
entertaining.
I also think it's going to be because you're now hitting the time where the generation who grew up watching Men in Black have kids of their own. You know, so
that's what
that
I'm
would be a
going
really the theater I went to. It was all families watching the movie, and I thought that was pretty interesting because I
me
didn't think it was a
too.
kids movie. But so I think that's what they were kind of trying to go for is a nice balance.
But I think they
between
didn't
the
know
two.
exactly the total balance they wanted. I don't think that worked quite as well as it could have.
Of
like,
course.
from the adult to the kid. But yeah, overall, solid movie. Go check it out if you don't really have anything to do.
If
wanna
you've
see a
seen
fun
the other
movie.
Men in Blacks, go
Yeah,
see this.
you might
Men in
like it
Black.
if you're a Men in Black fan. So yeah.
That's it.
Thank you guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe down below for more weekly content, and we'll be sending you more videos.